Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we're going to be starting my 13 days of Halloween. I'm in a group on Facebook called A&M Creative Exploring Paper Crafters, and it's a swap group. So you select what swaps you'd like to go to, and then they will close it down, sign you a partner, and then you make that specific swap that you agreed to and mail that out to them. So the one that I am doing right now is a mason jar embellishment. So I have certain things I have to do on the embellishments. They have, guidelines that you have to follow and stuff. So, but I thought I would make an embellishment book to hold the 3 mason jars I have to do, plus a few. I always send a little bit of this and that with the swaps that I've been in. So I thought we would make the embellishment book today, and then as part of my 13 days of Halloween, I will add in tutorials for the embellishments also. So this little embellishment book here is very simple to make, and it measures 7 7/8 high by 4 3/4 wide, and then it has about by the time you're all done, a 1 1/4 inch spine. So what I've done is, I'll just show you this one. This is what we're going to be doing. So it's so simple. You could even make this into like a folio or a little mini album if you wanted to, if you didn't want to do an embellishment box. I just took a cereal box. This is just a mini wheat cereal box. And I don't throw away my cereal boxes. I just sometimes I'll fold them up. I break them down, fold them up, and set them in the box. This one I happened to cut down. And this one started out as, that was the size I used. I already had it down. And it was 10 7/8 wide by 7 3/4 high. So then what I did was I cut it down, and I cut each panel at 4 3/4 wide. So I took my cereal box, say this is my cereal box, took my cereal box, and I went in and I cut off 2 sections at 4 3/4 wide. So 4 3/4, 4 3/4. Then I had a little amount left. So what I did with that little amount is I just cut this spine off of the rest of that at 1 1/8 inches. So took my whole piece that was 7 3/4 high, and I cut 4 3/4 inch section, and then another 4 3/4 inch section, and then with the leftover section I had, I cut a piece at 1 1/8 wide. So now I've got a piece of cardstock here. This is just regular cardstock. It happens to be American Crafts black cardstock. And this is cut at, what did I cut this at? This was 12 by, I got it written down here. Where did I write it? Okay, 9 3/4 inch high and 12 inches wide. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little section here on each end because it's only 12 inches wide. I'm going to bring in my ruler and I'm going to line that up at the 1 inch mark down at the bottom. And that will help me. I have pre-taped these, just a little bit of tape. I'm a glue person, as you all know, but I like something like this. I like to add a little tape just to kind of hold it while my glue sets up. And this is going to be so easy. Like I said, you could use this as a little album. But this cereal box type chipboard makes a good base. And if you wanted it a little heavier, you could double it. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to come in a little over. I'm going to do it 5/8 from my edge here. And line that right up on the bottom. And we should end up with about that same amount there. And then we're going to do our little spine here. And I am just using scrap pieces of decorative cardstock to decorate this, because I had a lot of Halloween pieces, I guess I would say. I'm going to allow for 1/8 of an inch for my spine there. And this ruler's nice for that because I can see right there that I'm at 1/8 inch. And so I had a lot of scrapbook paper. I'm not going to call it scrapbook. I'm going to call it cardstock because scrapbook paper is very thin. This is actual cardstock. So I had a lot of actual pieces of cardstock that I could use. I think I had, maybe 1 or 2 pieces that I cut from my other decorative cardstock. But that was from cardstock that I have from Halloween past, I guess. I'm going to allow for another 1/8 of an inch there. Line that up. There we go. Whoops. Come on. Slide a little bit. Go. All right. That's good. Okay. Give this a nice little rub here. Okay. You can use any color cardstock you want. I just figured I'd use the black on this one. And I'm not so worried about this smaller amounts that we're going to be turning over here. I think we're going to be just fine. In fact, maybe I'll turn over the shorter pieces first and then overlap it with the big ones. So I'm just breaking that fibers of that cardstock in a little bit, trying to get it used to the idea of being folded down. There we go. Now I want to fold it in and create creases on the ends there, on all the edges, so then I can see where I need to cut. Okay, and as you can see how it makes the little creases there, we're going to go in with our scissors and we're just going to, on a very slight angle, cut in, but staying about 1/16 of an inch away from that edge, away from the corner of that chipboard there. Okay, doesn't have to be a huge angle. You can always trim off a little more. It's hard to go back on and add. Go. I don't want to get too close to that corner because then the chipboard will show. Okay. It is a beautiful October day here in Michigan. We are having a little, what we call Indian summers. So, but it's early October. You know, it's only the 7th, so it's early enough. We're supposed to be in the 70s this week, and I am looking forward to it. All right. So I'm going to come in here with just a little bit of tape, again, just to hold that until the glue dries. So just a little bit. This is narrower tape. This is 1/4 inch tape. On these other sides, I'll use the 1/2 inch. Okay. Tool here, so I'll like to use that. I can press it down good. All right. I'm going to peel all this up here. All right. I'm going to stay away from that little edge there, but I'm going to add a bead of glue right along this edges here to soften that up a little bit. All along those edges. There we go. And then I'm going to add squiggle of glue down here. It's short. All right. There we go. A little squiggle of glue. And we'll bring that in. And then fold in any of that little corner there that might need folding in. Okay. Do the same thing here. All right. Okay. Then I'm just going to fold in. There's not very much there, but just in case, we're just going to do that. And then we're going to get our glue here. There we go. Just like that. Okay. I just thought it might be nice to include an extra little something for her, and I was going to do the 13 days of Halloween anyway, so let me cut that up there just a little bit, just a tiny bit, just a little long there. There we go. Perfect. All right. Put my pen back in if I can find it. There it is. Okay, now I'm going to take the rounded edge of this. You can use a pencil or whatever you have that's rounded, and I'm just going to gently push on these gussets in between these two here. Break those fibers in, and then just use the more pointed edge on there. Just want to get those used to being bent a little bit. There we go. That. There we go. Perfect. That's our book. So now I have cut two pieces. Our first one is 7 5/8 inch high by 10 inches wide. And we're going to bring this in here. And we're going to score that. So again, 10 inches wide, 7 5/8 inch high. Score at 4.5. I'm going to rotate it back to my other 10-inch side again and do another 4.5. That way, instead of going 4.5 and 5.5, I know that this is going to be 4.5 and 4.5, because even with these boards, even though they're supposed to be exact, for some reason I always think they're off a little. And it might just be me, but it seems like when I do that, I have better luck of things being the same than if I don't. All right, so there's our first piece. These are going to be our pages. Our second one is 7 5/8 inch high by 9.5 inches wide. Again, we're going to score at 4.5. I'm going to rotate and score at 4.5 again. It gives us a 1/2 inch gusset between our pages. So we have a 1 inch gusset and a 1/2 inch gusset. You go ahead and burnish your edges. Get this out of our way. And these were just cut out of 8.5 by 11 inch cards, heavy cardstock. Just, oh, like that's my thing. So we got to have an inside piece here for decoration. Let me see. I think I was going to go with this one here. So, for some reason I did not cut that. So, let's measure it up. I don't know why I didn't cut that. I think I was in such a hurry to try to get going on this. All right, so let's measure it up. So it is 11 inches. So I'm going to go 10 7/8 wide. 10 7/8 wide by 7 5/8. 10 7/8 5, 7. See if I get it right. Let's see here. I thought that'd be kind of pretty. Yeah, and that'll give me just a little. Well, I could probably cut it down just a little bit more. So I'm going to take about 1/8 of an inch off my length here. So that would bring me down to 10 3/4. So 10 3/4 wide. There, that looks a little better. 10 3/4 wide. Okay. Let's go ahead and just add a couple strips of tape here. Just to, oops, good thing that's the bottom. All right. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, slow down so I can stop making mistakes because that takes me longer. All right. Okay. Like I said, I just went through and I don't, especially when I have bigger pieces left after a project, I'll save those in a bin. Like, where is my little bin here? Not that one. I don't know where I put it. But I have oh, here it is. Like this. I have different things in here, all dealing with Halloween. I have another tote that's just full sheets of Halloween paper that are just miscellaneous. They don't go to a pack necessarily, or the pack's been open. So I have a full one of that. But then I've got all these pieces. They might be 6 inches wide or 8 inches wide, but they're not full sheets. So they get put in that tote along with miscellaneous elements for Halloween to decorate. And makes it easy for me to know right where things are there. But so for the actual embellishments, I'm gonna use my punch board. I have a Cricut, but I didn't like the ones I found on Cricut. I wasn't happy with those, and I didn't want to do it by hand. So I thought, well, and they suggest down there, the punch board that you can use that. So I thought I would use that. And so I watched the tutorial that they suggested and watched a couple different ones, and then thought, yeah, that looks like fun and easy enough to do. So I thought I'm going to build a little book for her. I'm just trying to find my score lines in there so I can break those fibers into that paper there. You can feel them. They're hard to see, but I can feel them with my finger. All right. So there we go. Just like that. And that'll help if that sets up and dries a little bit before I manipulate it too much. So there we go. All right. So then we take our 2 pages that we created here. Actually, ends up being 4 pages. We're going to glue that 1/2 inch in the center of there. So I'm just going to put some glue on this 1/2 inch gusset we created. And I know that this is a 1/4 inch smaller from the edge than that one. So I'm going to bring my ruler in and line it up at 1/4 inch, just like that. And then I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to line that up. Make sure my top and bottom match and line up the 1/4 inch there. There we go, just like that. If you want to eyeball it, you can. It's just easier for me to use my ruler. All right. Let's go ahead and burnish those again. Make sure the glue didn't squeeze out. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to line this up. And it should match up with that, yeah, it matches up with that top and bottom edge of that paper really good. So now if I just stay in between my score lines there, I'll be just perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and lay some glue on this 1-inch spineless gusset that we have. Whoops, just got glue on the outside. I'm getting crazy. Getting a little crazy with it. There we go. All right. Okay. And if you want to decorate your pieces before you put them in the book, you can do that. But I'm feeling all right about it. So I'm just eyeballing to see if I'm like about even between those two. Looks like it. I'm going to slide it up a little bit. There we go. Looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. There we go. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah. So these are my 2 pieces for the outside panels. So these have been smudged with black soot, Ranger ink, Tim Holtz. That polka dot was pretty too, but I just thought I'd use the stripe. So these are all cut at 7 5/8 inches high. Nope, stop. 7 1/2 inches high. All of these are the same. 7 1/2 inches high by 4 3/8 inch wide. Every single one of them are the same. Okay. And you're going to have about 1/16 of an inch edge around there. Let me see if I got a lighter piece of paper to put underneath there so you can see that a little better. Okay. Just a little edge on there. Okay. And then this one goes on the very back page. So let's do that. This is just an old, coming with a pack of paper or something, so it's the thinner. It's kind of like cereal box weight, but I use it sometimes for if I've got a lot of smudging to do with my ink, then I use that so I don't get ink all over my work surface. So if I've got a lot of smudging to do that isn't just the edges, then that's what I do. Whoopsie. Let's go ahead and get this one in. Goodness gracious. Let's try again. This one. Tell you, I'm just trying to hurry too much and I'm just not getting. Doesn't do any good to hurry if you've got to backtrack and fix things. So you just got to slow down. There we go. So now we've got those two. So then these are the next two. And I decided to go with these two for that. Or we could go this page and this page for that. Yeah, let's do that. That makes it more fun. Breaks it up a little bit. Again, these are smudged with black, so all of these are. And you can use regular scrapbook paper on these if you want. It's just thinner. That's all. I like the heavier decorative cardstock, especially for something like this, so it kind of helps stiffen the surface a little bit. Right. Let's go to this one. And she might bark in a couple minutes. My husband is due home anytime, so if she starts barking, we'll just work through it. That's my German Shepherd, Gerda. She is 8 years old, and she loves when her dad comes home. Well, he's not really her dad, but she just looks forward to him coming home because he plays with her. All right, let's go ahead and do the greens. Not too short. These were from all different paper lines. They were just, and sometimes when I'm at my store that I go through for my paper, sometimes I'll see a paper I like and I'll just buy a few sheets of that paper, not the whole thing. So I have got tons of paper like that sitting around. Just typically if I buy at least 2 sheets in case I have a project for it or whatever. But so sometimes I'll buy 2, 3, 4 just because I like the looks of the paper. So then I end up with all these single sheets. But with Halloween too, I mean, you're either going to go kind of ghoulish or kind of childlike. And so they usually can mix very good. Like this was bright lime, but this paper from a different company, I'm pretty sure it was a different company, has that lime green in there too. So I thought, well, that pulls that in. So see, it's got the lime green and the lime green, so it worked out pretty good. And then these were my last 2, and it was big enough to cut my width, but not my length. So what I did was from this one that had the, I think this one had the stripes on it. Let me see. Yes. So this one here had the banner strips, you know, with the stuff on them. So I made sure I cut off from the end that I wanted, and then I was able to use these, and I'll just add those as a decorative element down at the bottom. So it'll kind of break that up too. So even if you got smaller pieces to use for piecing in, that's an idea for you, is just to use another. I thought about using another piece of paper, but then I thought, no, I only need a little bit. So, and then I thought, well, I'll just use the banner strips on there, and that will work for me. This was pretty, but I couldn't turn the paper the right way 2 times with the scrap I had to get 2 pieces out. So I would have had one going the right way, and then this one would have been going that way. And I thought, nope, I'll just use this side of the paper, and then I'll be able to get 2 pieces out of it instead of just one. Okay, and then I'm just gonna we're just gonna ignore that. Get so many calls right now. Hundreds of them, it seems like a day. Even at night, they're calling later at night. I had one the other night. They hung up before I answered, but it was like 10 after 9, and I thought years ago there was a thing where businesses couldn't call your house after 9 o'clock. So, but they hung up before I could get to them. It only rang twice and they hung up. They must have realized what time it was. I don't know. But, all right. So now let's do our cover. And I didn't decide. Oh, this one here, I put it all together first, just a solid piece of cereal box, and then I had to cut it apart. So that's why this one got just that strip, because I cut it apart and reattached it that way. So for the cover, I didn't pick a cover. Boy, I just was not ready to start this video, was I? So let's see. We've got so much. Let me see. All right. This is my one I was telling you about that's full of this and that's here. So let's just go ahead in here. It's going to be fairly easy to probably find something, I'm sure. Oh, I like that. That's pretty, but I don't have enough. Oh, I think we're going to go with that. I kind of like that. Yes, we'll go with that. And then we can always put a tag or something on the front and decorate it a little more and break up some of that busyness. All right. So I believe we need the same sizes here. Let's see. We need 4 5/8 wide, 7 5/8. 4 5/8 by 7 5/8. So let's get our height. 7 5/8. 4 5/8. 2 of those. There we go. I think that's kind of cool. Look at that. Let's go ahead and give these a smudge. I am just trying to get my mojo back. I've been out of it for a while and I need to get back into it. I enjoy doing it so much and I really appreciate all of you following along and sticking with me here. And you know, I look forward to doing the videos. Like I said, I just kind of lost my mojo a little bit. But this is one of the things that I like to do. I have a herniated disc, so I'm limited on what I can do. And I spend most of my day standing because sitting hurts so much. So this is an outlet for me to be able to create something and still feel like I'm, you know, still in the game a little bit. And I've been crafting for over 40 years, so I just love doing it. I love working with paper. And so I really appreciate all my subscribers so much because, you know, I do this because I like doing it, but I also love when I get comments and things like that, and if I get thumbs up or likes to my videos, I mean, it just kind of makes your day, you know. So those are all appreciated, whether you, I don't know if you know that or not, but they really are. And I appreciate each and every one of you for subscribing to my channel, and I hope that some of the things I do may benefit you. Do we want that same thing on the spine? Sure, let's go ahead and do that. So that's the same height, and we need 1. Let's do 1 1/8. 1 1/8. Let's get it here. This is going to be a little harder here. 1 1/8. All right, let's try that. Oops. Looks about right. We'll try that. See what we got. But yeah, so I really appreciate you guys hanging with me in there, and I think I'm going to cut that down just a little bit more. Just a little bit more, maybe to let's do this one. In there. Let's do a 1 inch. Let me line. See if that's wide enough. Make sure they're all facing in the right direction here. Yeah, that looks better. So I have fun doing this, and I hope you have fun watching me. I really am going to get tackling it here, get back into it, and start hitting it hard. Sometimes it's a little harder for me because sometimes I have my granddaughter. Not as much lately because my daughter's in search of a new job, so haven't been too busy with her but she has little odds and end things she does, so then I watch my granddaughter. All right, perfect. So that is our embellishment book. And then what we'll do is we'll attach our embellishment to these different pages. And I don't think I'm going to need any pockets, but if I do, we can always add those later. But I think that made a nice little, I mean, it's pretty sturdy. By the time you get the decorative cardstock on there, it's nice and sturdy. Pages are nice and sturdy. I think it will make a fine little embellishment book to hold all the creations I'm going to make. So I'll be back tomorrow with a embellishment tutorial, and for sure one, if I can get more than one in on a video, I will try, but I know all day tomorrow I'm busy, and then Friday I have a half a day, so I will see what I can come up with. So as always, thanks again for subscribing to my channel. If you're not a subscriber, please consider doing so at this time. Just go ahead and hit that red subscribe button down in the right hand corner there. And when the bell pops up, if you hit that bell, you'll be notified each time I put up a new video. And this, again, is my 13 Days of Halloween. And this is for the A&M Facebook group, Creative Exploring Paper Crafters. And that is a swap group. So, as always, until the next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.